What is up, Hawk Alert Nation? I am your host, Saahil Kapoor. Today we have a fun topic. We're going to be talking about, do the Seattle Seahawks still have a chance making the playoffs? What are the odds of finishing 9-8 this season? So let's get into this one. Okay, so before we get into it, make sure to follow our social media accounts. Those are going to be in the description below. If you cannot find that, it's going to be the Hawk Alert on Instagram and Twitter. So make sure to follow that so you have, the most recent update on when the newest videos are going to be coming out. Like I said in the intro, we're going to be talking about how likely is it for the Seahawks to finish 9-8 and possibly make the playoffs. Let's get into it. Currently, Seahawks are 5-8 thanks to winning Houston. And before we, dive really deep into this topic, let's talk about some of the good things that are happening right now. So the Seahawks are on a 2-game winning streak. And, this season, this is the first time that the Seahawks are on a winning streak. So that is impressive. They just beat the Houston Texans by 20 points. So they're coming off a fresh victory, confidence booster. So this game against Houston is definitely going to help them. Second thing is, technically, the Seahawks are one game out of a playoff spot. Washington is 6-7, Seattle's 5-8. So one game out, right? But the thing is, there's a lot of teams. If you look at the wild card standing, there's a lot of teams ahead of the Seahawks. And just wanted to give a few honorable mentions. Not on, award. Props to some of these players like Rashad Penny. Come on, that dude lit up the Twitter, everything. Rushed for 137 yards on 16 attempts, 2 touchdowns. Chris Carson has never done anything close to that. Chris Carson, if you follow my Twitter, on the Hawk Alert, I posted this graphic, and it was Chris Carson's best game is not close to Rashad Penny's best game. And I've been watching a lot of ESPN, and what they've said is Rashad Penny, there's a reason why he was taken in the first round. He's a big guy, he's a big back, and he's missed 21 games since his rookie year. So Seattle fans have not been able, football fans in general have not been able to see enough of Rashad Penny to form an opinion, I'd say. And after seeing something like this, Houston is a bad defense, but they still are an NFL team. So I think it is pretty impressive that Rashad Penny was able to do that, because it definitely made the offense more powerful, I'd say, because without a run attack and only a passing attack, your team is going to struggle. Like we saw the Buffalo Bills, they pass a lot, they don't run a lot, and that hurts them a lot. And we've seen teams just win games solely off running. Patriots, I know. It hurts watching something like that, just constant running the ball, but running the ball is very important, and it's the easiest way to get yards and the safest way to get yards. Move on to Gerald Everett. Last game, worst game of his career probably. He fumbled twice, and then that interception, we all know that was his fault. It was not Russell Wilson's fault. It was a really good throw, and he just bobbled it, went into Niner cornerback's hands. So he's coming off a good game, right? He's a good tight end, as we know. That last game, something was going on, but had a nice touchdown. I don't know if you guys saw, he barely broke the plane on this nice touchdown, went for 2. Lockett got the nice grab. And let's give some props to the defense. It is Houston, like I've said earlier, but this defense did play well. Obviously, Houston on the first drive, they did play really well. I don't know if that's David Culley or that's just poor Seattle play. It's a factor of both. I feel like communication was lacking. There was times where Bobby Wagner and the secondary didn't have good chemistry, but obviously that's going to get better, especially without Jamal Adams. Sidney Jones, I mean, he's been filling that role, I'd say, pretty well. Defense is filling in. Sidney Jones had some nice tackles. Also, Ugo Amadi came up big in the end of the game with some nice pass breakups, some nice deflections. Love to see that, especially out of a guy that you don't really see doing big things. Offense was cooking all game. Lockett was getting targeted. Metcalf, we're getting there. Penny got some nice rushes. They're just cooking all around. And going to Los Angeles, that's the thing. I mean, you're coming off a great game. Offensive line blocked really well. There's a lot of times where they just had some great blocking. Russell, I don't know if you guys saw Tyler Lockett. So Russ is evading the pressure and throws to Lockett. Lockett jumps, nice grab. Don't always see that. Now let's get into this 9-8 situation. Obviously, there's 4 games left in the season, and the best possibility is a 9-8 record. Let's see how we can get there. So this week, the Seattle Seahawks are playing the Los Angeles Rams, and the Los Angeles Rams are coming off a nice victory. They just beat the Los Angeles Cardinals. They just played well. Chemistry was there. Everything was going for them that night. Running the ball wasn't going well for them, but they didn't even run that much. They were more passing. Cooper Kupp, unstoppable guy. What I'm thinking is the way that you stop this team is the way that they've been stopped the previous games, right? Packers, Niners. How did they stop him? Cooper Kupp, you can't really fully stop the guy, right? I mean, he's slot receiver. He always has these cheeky routes. He's a really good route runner. Rat catches everything. Can't really stop him, but it starts with scoring on the first possession for sure. If you score on the first possession of that game, then that fires your defense up, fires your offense up. You're going in to your second possession. Also score the ball and get a stop. And the Seahawks will have an 80% chance of winning the game right there. That's the way you win football games. You start early. You don't start late in the game. You don't come back. It's really rare. It's Russell Wilson things, and that's why a lot of Seahawks fans are mad. All Seahawks fans get heart attacks at the end of the game. Like that's a common thing a lot of people say, and it's because the team waits till the end of the game to start playing well, and that's not how you play proper football, right? So we talked about the Los Angeles Rams game. That's coming up this Sunday. Tomorrow we're gonna have an in-depth preview, so make sure to watch that. But after the Rams game, I think the Rams game is the most important game left on the schedule because you have the Lions and Bears at home. Come on, I mean, that's free. That's free wins. That's playing Houston again, but at home. That's free wins. So if you don't win those, then something's up with your football team for sure. But I'd say the Rams are the hardest in this case. But last week, week 18, excuse me, Arizona Cardinals, and the Cardinals are in a weird place. So they're 10-3. They're tied with 2 of the teams, the Green Bay Packers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And really, what they're fighting for is home field advantage in the playoffs, that first round bye, right? So what's going to happen is you need the Cardinals to lose a game, or you need the Packers and Bucks to lose 2 games so that they don't start their starters week 17, right? And what are the odds that the Packers and Bucks lose 2 games? It's not going to happen, right? They're playing really well. Packers play Lamar and the Ravens. Even if Lamar is healthy, I mean, he's hurt, right? So we'll see what happens. We just got to hope that Arizona doesn't need to fight week 18, because if they do, then they're going to come prepared. They're going to be looking for that first round bye. But let's just hope that they can't get it. Let's say they're just out of reach, then they won't start Kyler Murray. But unfortunately, the Seahawks did still lose without Kyler Murray. And that's the unfortunate thing, because I was pretty frustrated. I don't know if you saw the video. Colt McCoy kind of just took apart the Seahawks defense. But after these two fresh games, I think the team is back. I think the team is back. The first week of the season, that's how they're playing right now, and that's the way you want them to play, right? But I mean, this team has been good at times and it's been really bad at some times. And we got two important games left on the schedule. If you can win these games, playoffs, here we come. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for today. Make sure to watch tomorrow. We're going to go in depth for the Rams Seahawks game. Make sure to subscribe, follow the Twitter and Instagram. It's the Hawk Alert. Signing off, Saahil Kapoor.